Imagine a fleet of 400,000 trucks that predicts failures before they happen. Last year, Penske's AI prevented 95,000 roadside breakdowns and guided 117,000 repairs, turning its vehicles into data centers on wheels. I'm Michael Krigsman, and this is CXOTalk. Joining me are Sarvant Singh, Vice President of Data and Emerging Digital Solutions at Penske, and Chris Powell, Chief Marketing Officer at Qlik, the data platform powering Penske's analytics engine. Today, we'll unpack how 170 citizen developers, finance analysts, maintenance experts, and other business pros build production AI apps and the practical steps your organization can take to achieve similar results.
Penske is a leading provider of transportation solutions, specializing in truck rental, leasing, logistics, and supply chain management. With more than 430,000 trucks and thousands of locations, we play a significant role in sustaining supply chain operations across North America. So in my role as the Vice President of Data and Emerging Digital, I focus on two primary things. One, making the right information available to the right people at the right time. And second, innovations and digital transformation through effective use of emerging technologies like artificial intelligence, IoT, cloud, virtual reality, and now generative and agentic AI.
Chris, you're working very closely with Sarvant, and tell us about Qlik.
Qlik's been around for 30 years now, so it's not a newcomer to the data space, and we're really in the data business. When we talk to customers, it usually falls into 5 areas. They have to be able to bring the data together. So from a lot of different kinds of data, different sources to different targets, they have to make sense of that data, transform it so it's usable. They have to make sure that it's the right quality, that they trust it, and then, of course, analyze it. And analyzing it today is everything from traditional analysis all the way through much more sophisticated usage of AI and predictive. And then the fifth is taking action with it and doing something, whether that's enabling a person to be able to do something with it or just fully automating the next step in a process. What's so fascinating about Penske is when you see their trucks driving down the road, you just don't realize how much data is driving all of this for them and creating a better experience for their customers, a better experience within their overall employee base. It's just a fascinating world that things have been evolving into for the last 30 years.
Sarvant, talking about leveraging data to improve outcomes, you're a transportation services company. You mentioned you have over 400,000 trucks on the road. How are data and AI critical to your operations?
After our people, our vehicles are our most important assets. But they're not here in the corporate office. They're out there in the field transporting goods. And before IoT and AI, a problem can happen unannounced without much warning. And vehicles these days, they're very complex. On an average, they have multiple computers and hundreds of sensors. So finding what is really going on with a truck, it could be very difficult for the drivers. And that's where Penske come in. We are collecting real-time sensor data from our trucks. We are bringing it into our data platform and then connecting it with our operational data and very rich maintenance history to predict vehicle failures. So we implemented this predictive AI solution called proactive diagnostics, using which we can predict when a truck is going to fail. We have also been implementing AI like guided repair, a prescriptive AI solution, which is helping our technicians become more efficient because it recommends the most probable repair which can help fix a particular problem. We have been implementing AI in our business operations and back office functions for almost a decade. But over the last few years, we have started implementing AI in our front office functions as well. And recently, we are launching customer-facing digital AI products.
Can you talk a little more about those machine learning and AI models?
Yes, proactive diagnostics, the predictive AI I was talking about, Last year alone, that prevented 95,000 trucks from failing on the side of the road. So that's the power of AI at work. The other solution, guided repair, the prescriptive AI solution I was talking about, that was used 117,000 times last year alone by our technicians to do repairs. And apart from that, we have been implementing AI to reduce the administrative workload for our technicians. The most significant thing about this particular solution was that it was a self-service AI solution. We implemented a self-service AI capability almost 3 years ago. And that is helping our citizen data scientists to build AI models to improve or transform business processes. And this particular model I was talking about, which helped reduce the administrative work for our maintenance supervisors, that came out through that self-service AI process. So I'm extremely proud of that. And then very recently, we implemented our GenAI platform. We have already implemented 2 GenAI products on top of that, one for improving service desk operations, and second for supporting the 24/7 roadside assistance call center. So we're very, very proud of those implementations.
We just had our Qlik Connect conference in the last couple of weeks. And one of the things that came across over and over again was how many organizations have a strategy but aren't able to really implement that strategy. A lot of organizations have ideas, but then the analysts keep telling us how many of them keep failing. What's the secret?
That's a great question, Chris. And I do get asked that question a lot. We start by focusing on customer. What's the right thing to do? What can deliver a great customer experience? So we really start from there. And then we start small and then fail fast. And then once we are successful, we want to scale very, very fast. That's where building a robust data foundation and an ecosystem of partners is just so important. Because you can't do all of this alone. You really need an ecosystem of partners which are bringing different capabilities. And as Penske, we put all of that together to solve difficult, complex problems for our customers. And I think that's what this is all about. The real differentiator for us is our culture. We have a culture where different stakeholders, different teams come together. And then we collectively work to first define the problem, then figure out what's the best way to solve it. And particularly when it comes to AI implementations, being able to combine our people capability with our data capability and then emerging technology is what becomes the true differentiator. It is because of this combination we could deliver all these solutions and in the process achieve competitive differentiation.
Chris, you talk with many Qlik customers across a variety of industries. What are the broader trends in AI and data adoption that you see?
The big thing is this shift from strategy to execution. So much of it is exactly what Sarvan said. The companies are doing this really well. Understand that there is a lot of experimentation, but you need to do that fast failure, as Sarvan said, and move forward and scale the things that are working and discard the ones that aren't working. AI especially is supposed to come with so many efficiency gains, but they're not seeing those efficiency gains. So they need to find ways to really get the efficiency gains. And probably the biggest thing of all of this that we hear keeping people up at night on a regular basis is they just don't trust the environments that they've been creating. So if you don't trust it, it doesn't matter what it costs and if you're getting efficiencies, right? You're not going to want to use it. Companies are getting closer and closer to understanding how they should be implementing it, where they should be implementing it. Now they're getting into this mode of can they implement it? Can they implement it because of cost? Can they implement it because they don't have the right people or enough people? Can they implement it because they have to be able to make sure it's trusted? Those three things of cost, efficiency, and trust are the big three trends that we see organizations trying to overcome.
When it comes to trusting the data, we need to make sure that we're building the right data management capabilities. We are making sure there is data stewardship happening so that we can build this robust data foundation, which then is going to support AI. But when it comes to trusting the AI, it's a different ballgame because there's a human element involved in there. So that's where what Penske has done is whenever we implement an AI solution, we make sure that we pull in our subject matter experts And they become our first line of defense. They become our the people who are really testing and validating the AI. And so the way we position AI is not just as artificial intelligence, but as augmented intelligence. And that has been the key. So it's really combining the AI with the human intelligence. And I think it's this combination which can help deliver the needed trust or generate the needed trust in the business process.
What is unique about Penske that enables this AI and related business maturity that a lot of organizations just have not yet achieved?
As Sarvan's saying, they've been leading the way for quite some time, understanding the impact of data on their business. People don't think of Penske as a data business, but when I describe what Qlik is, I say we're a data business. I guess, Sarvan, in a lot of ways, you could say you're a data business, right? It's almost as if the Penske organization is a data business just masquerading in a different industry. And the foundation that they've been able to set up over the years that establishes an understanding within their organization of what data they need to bring together, the importance of that probably throughout their leadership team. Sarvan, I'd be curious whether or not you're finding that this isn't just an IT or a business intelligence group that's really thinking about this. It's not just the techies, it's the business starts to thinking about ways that how is data going to transform our business requires that business partnership. If it's just the technical people, just the data people that are thinking about this, then they don't have that partnership that they need.
One of the reasons why we could achieve this success is because of the self-service analytics initiative we launched years ago. Idea is to deliver the data tools, the capabilities, and make them easily accessible to the business community. So we have a very distributed execution mechanism. And I think that is our superpower, where we have our business analysts, the data analysts, and the citizen data scientists sitting in the business where they're very close to the subject matter expertise. And we have trained them to be the Qlik developers, to be the citizen data scientists. And when they are building these digital products, then the quality is given from day one because they have the needed subject matter expertise to make sure that it works, and it works the right way, and it can be embedded as part of our business process. So just to throw some numbers out there, we have roughly 170 Qlik developers and 50 to 60 citizen data scientists. And I very proudly say that these are the Qlik developers and citizen data scientists I didn't have to hire.
Sarvan, would it be accurate to say that your current success with data and AI relies on the fact that years ago, Penske established a culture of data?
You're absolutely right. That is the key ingredient to the success. As I was mentioning, we have a group of analysts. We call them Penske Analytics Network, and there are more than 300 members in that. And out of those 300, 170 of those are Qlik developers. And then we have this citizen data science community. What we have done is we have provided them with the right data, the right tools, and the know-how. And that has been the primary driver behind this success, the groundswell we are seeing on the analytics and AI side.
So, Sarvan, your point about this data foundation and really this culture of data, I think, is exactly what we see in the best performing organizations, right? The self-service nature of this and the number of people you talked about who are developers and citizen data scientists, it's a fascinating number.
Absolutely, Chris. Collectively, these citizen developers have built more than 700 applications. And just last year alone, we saw almost 4 million logins. So that's a very impressive number.
When you say a citizen developer, can you describe that person for us?
They may be in finance, they may be in marketing, they may be in maintenance. So their job is really to support the needs of their own function. But what we have done in the process is we have augmented their skills in that particular function with the technical skills. It may be the skills on Qlik Sense. It may be Qlik to analyze data in the data lake, or it may be the skills to build AI models using these automated analytics platforms. So it's a combination of that. Data storytelling is something we have been focusing on. As an organization, we have also been focusing on things like data literacy and AI literacy. And I think it's the combination of these things because of which we could influence our culture and really help it transform to become a data-driven culture.
So these are folks who are working in various functions like finance or others who are subject matter experts in that function. These are not technology experts. Is that correct?
That is absolutely correct.
Yeah, and that's what we see all over the place, right? It's the organizations that are able to really remove the bottleneck of what was traditionally this is a centralized business intelligence group. If you have a question, you go to that small group. If you need a change to an existing application, you have to go to that small group. It makes it very difficult to become a data-driven organization when you have that bottleneck in place, right? So it's having the capabilities within your overall environment to enable these teams to be able to operate self-sufficiently, but do it within a trusted environment. You don't want to sort of have the wild, wild west out there. You need to have the controls. You need to make sure you're still compliant. You need to make sure that the right people have access, but other folks don't have access. So having all of the pieces in place, the terminology that often is used now is treating data as a product. So data products is to be able to serve up these data elements, but in a secure way and in a way that you feel as the people responsible for data, that you still have control over. And it's not just something where perhaps the marketing department or others are now taking action on data that you don't think is necessarily trustable, can have some pretty important consequences that you're trying to manage and avoid and help those people with, right? Empowering people, but making sure you have the right controls in place that it doesn't get out of control.
We do have governance around self-service BI and self-service AI. We have a data and analytics governance council, and we're also putting together robust AI governance processes right now. We started that process last year. We are making good progress on that. But as Chris mentioned, making sure our citizen developers have the freedom to conduct the proof of concepts, experiment with the data. So we provide all that flexibility while ensuring that it is in a safe and secured environment. We have the right guardrails and controls in place. And this becomes really important when we are operationalizing a solution. So being able to think about these digital product implementations in two phases. One is the proof of concept phase, where we do have all kind of freedom we want, but then we have the operationalization phase, and that is where we make sure that we are putting the right controls in place, the processes are really hardened, and before something goes into production, it is really enterprise grade.
Chris, how does Qlik's technology enable these kinds of initiatives and support that data culture, which is so important to Penske?
We're extremely proud to be a leader and the only leader that cuts across data integration, data analytics, and data quality. We're trying to hit as many of those marks as possible in order to make sure that they can trust that data environment, bring it together, service it up for their organizations to get value from it.
What strikes me talking with both of you is it's not just the technology, but it's what happens when the technology meets the receptive group of people who can then enable the business outcomes.
At the end of the day, even AI, like everything else, is people business, and we have to get that right. I do want to highlight the importance of having the right talent. That's why I'm very proud of the work my team has done and the work which our citizen developers, citizen data scientists do on a daily basis.
It was a number of years ago. I was at a conference in Vegas, and we were sitting around talking, and I was just having a conversation with the CIO, and she gave me two pieces of advice. One is, you're constantly overestimating what my team can do. And the second is that just talk to me like I'm your friend. We're data wonks, man. Like we love data. We wake up every morning thinking about data. Our CEO, Mike Capone, has often talks about how we believe data can fundamentally change not just how businesses operate, how organizations operate, but really just make the world a better place. And that's what we're all about. We're obsessed with data and ways that we can try to leverage it for better outcomes.
I fully agree. I mean, we cannot achieve the full promise of AI without having the right data foundation.
Sarvant, you have a vision for the transformative power of AI and data. That's very clear. Where is this all going in logistics?
Vehicle complexity will continue to increase. It may happen due to electrification or more autonomy. There'll be more computing on the edge, particularly for a business with physically distributed operations like ours. So I visualize all of this becoming more and more complex. And our goal is to continue to utilize disruptive technologies, emerging technologies like AI and generative AI to deliver a great customer and associate experience. Trucks are the data center on wheels. That is what we have been saying of late. There's just so much of compute and processing going on there. It's unbelievable. We are sitting on more than 2 petabytes of data, and the pace at which we are accumulating this data is accelerating. And we collect billions of data points on a monthly basis. On any day, we are processing more than 300 million IoT messages.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Chris, we hear how mature Penske is with their data and AI efforts. What are other companies that you speak with doing to transform their businesses with data and AI?
There's so many organizations, as you can imagine. Everybody's trying to figure out how to transform with it, whether it's healthcare, banking, manufacturing, and also we're really proud to be working with a number of not-for-profits, charities, non-governmental organizations around the world. So everyone is looking to see how they can better accomplish their mission with data for sure. On the larger side, we'll use a company like Honda that has been able to take their overall planning process for their manufacturing from 30 days down to 1 day. Which has had huge benefits in terms of their overall supply chain management and understanding what they need to be doing on a regular basis. And then we work with much smaller organizations. Appalachian Healthcare is one that I love using, which is a small, I think they've got about 15 different healthcare centers in the area in the sort of the eastern part of the U.S., where they were taking a common problem, such as just patients showing up for their visits, which we all experience that on a day-to-day basis. But being able to use artificial intelligence and predictive analytics to really understand who's most likely not to be showing up and try to drive that to a different outcome, they were able to raise the amount of top line for them over a 2-year basis by $6 million. That's a huge difference for that kind of organization. And then from the NGO standpoint, at Qlik Connect again, we just had someone from MedAir join us, Heidi from MedAir, that talked about what they're doing. They're a charitable organization that works in some of the most difficult surroundings around the world in order to bring medicine, food, and different supplies to organizations or to individuals that are in need. And something that we talk about, sort of the real-time nature that Sarvant and Penske are doing, if you bring it into sort of a life and death situation, then we often talk about things, they seem like they're exaggerations on life and death, but They're really moving food supplies into areas that are truly life and death, medical supplies that are truly life and death. And they're able to use the speed now to collect the data for things that used to be a report every 2 weeks so that they could move those supplies around, now happens every 2 hours. So they literally are saving lives, leveraging the data and really thinking differently about how data can change the outcomes for their organizations.
Sarvant, what can companies do to encourage the adoption of data-driven tools and the adoption of AI, much as your organization has?
One is start with a robust data foundation, because there is no good AI without good data. Second, make the tools easily accessible. Self-service is really the key, and we have to press the easy button on those things. So our business community, our analysts, our citizen developers, they should be able to get access to the data and tools easily. That's number two. Third, build an ecosystem of partners. I think I may have mentioned this earlier, but I just cannot emphasize the importance of this. And last but not the least, talent is the key. At the end of the day, AI, like everything else, is a people business.
Chris, as we finish up, what advice would you offer to other companies looking to emulate the kind of transformation undertaken by Penske?
First is you have many different needs, understanding how all of these things can complement each other and working with a set of partners in that ecosystem is exactly right, as Sarvant said. The second is we work to make sure that we provide the flexibility that organizations need undoubtedly. As different pieces of technologies are changing, organizations need to maintain that flexibility, whether that's because of, it could be a merger and acquisition, it could be a change in strategic direction. They need the flexibility within their environment in order to be able to build these tools and build this capability within what they're doing. And the third we sort of hit on, which is that guidance piece. You need tools that will help your organization move forward because the tools themselves provide them with that guidance, and then also just the ecosystem that they're working with, the people that they're working with are able to provide the support structure that they need.
People and technology coming together.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Sarvant Singh, VP of Data and Emerging Digital Solutions at Penske, and Chris Powell, Chief Marketing Officer of Qlik. Thank you so much for taking time to speak with us. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Pleasure being here.
Thanks.